Let's
Wow,
see.
Zoom just added a whole bunch of things. Look at this.
I know, right?
See that? So there you go. I'm number one. Okay, so that's done.
Amazing. I think we're even going live, if you can believe it.
We are live.
We are live on Facebook by the looks of it, my friend. Nice to see you.
Wow, we figured it out. What's going on,
We
boys?
are we are figuring it out on the fly. That's the beautiful thing about this, right?
Incredible.
Is we
Incredible.
have we have the opportunity to turn around and do this not only on Zoom, but to be able to turn around and also share it on Facebook is it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, there's so many new tools that you can leverage, and I know there's a lot of people that are leveraging. Right now I have a platform that I can put it out to 8 different platforms, like literally YouTube, Facebook, Facebook groups. There's so many technologies just updating like crazy.
Right,
So
it's a lot of fun, right, guys? If you don't welcome here, if you guys don't know, thanks so much for being patient with us, right? Thanks for letting us get this Zoom thing figured all out and everything else. So super excited to have my buddy Raph on today. Raphael's doing some amazing things, really in the marketing community. We've met probably what 3 years ago now already.
a long time ago.
It seems maybe a little bit longer, but Raf just has the same passion that I do to be able to help people really generate, uplift, validate, and empower people. And that's really where I like to start. And like I said, Rafael turns around and definitely abides by those characteristics. So we're super excited to be sharing in the group today. Not only do we get a chance to interview Rafael a little bit to see what he's working on, but we also want to do like Q&A too, guys. So
Yeah.
this is kind of the new thing, I believe, to be able to show people really showcase our strengths and stuff like that, to be able to hop on a live call, to be able to help you guys live so other people can see it as well. I think that's going to be really, really valuable moving into 2021. So thanks for being on here with it. And I look forward to doing this for a long time.
No worries. Yeah, we met a while back. It's been a pleasure to be here. Welcome, guys. Hopefully, you guys can hear me good. And again, we might be doing this more often. We were just talking about it. It's like, why not just hop on and just share the knowledge that we have acquired over the years? I mean, like I've been doing this now over 5 years now. It's been an amazing journey, and we're both proud dads. We're both a family men, and that's what I think. That's one of the main reasons we both started, is to be able to spend time with the family and yeah, helping people. It's and showing them what is possible. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I worked in the corporate world, I thought that was the only way. So
Well,
awesome.
let's dive into that, my man. Like tell our folks where you're from, what you do. Some of our guests here and some of our viewers know obviously you from our community as well. But those that don't know Rafael, tell us a little bit about where you came from, what you do, and really what you're doing now.
Well, Rafael originally was raised and born in Poland. So I came to Canada when I was a young man, and I did what most of the parents do. Like my dad actually told me, he's like, go to school, don't work so hard as me, because he worked 7 days a week. My dad is my rock, and he was the one that showed me how to work hard. But he goes, go to school, get a good career, and that's what I did. So I ended up going to school, ended up landing in the corporate world, and 16 years into the corporate career, I realized, well, I knew before that there was something missing, and it was the time freedom, spending time with the family. And I had that moment that I call a line in the sun moment, that's enough is enough, when I literally booked a vacation a year in advance, booked a cabin for 2 weeks on the lake, paid for it. I got 16 years. I got this. I go into the office later on and say, sorry, I'm not a manager with more seniority. They're getting it. You have to switch it. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? It's a year in advance. And that moment was my like breaking point, saying, you know what? No one is going to ever tell me ever again when I'm going to be able to spend time with my family. And that's when I started looking. And we all know there's a lot out there. I was lucky enough to come across a good mentor, and I was able to come across an opportunity. And that was 5 years ago, a year and a half into my journey. I was doing this as a side hustle. I ended up resigning my 18-year corporate career, and I've been full time ever since.
Uh, Amazing. I absolutely love it. Now, obviously, 5 years ago, leaving the corporate world, there was probably some probably maybe more than just one challenge or obstacle maybe that you had to overcome in order to really step into the next world. Obviously, it's a little bit scary, the fear of the unknown, right? So how did you, or what did you do to maybe make that first step?
Well, a year and a half into it, I remember when I was talking, even Balaj was talking to, he's like, he's like, wow, how come you haven't quit yet? I'm like, dude, I'm scared shitless. Like, I'm like, that's a big decision. Even though I was making pretty good money and it was going through that process. But one thing that, I think Balaj or someone else has said that he's like, make at least 3 months in a row, double what you're making. So that way you feel comfortable resigning. I remember when I resigned, I went in and it was like, it was the scariest thing, but the most exciting things you ever done. And the challenge is like, it is unknown. Like, I have to produce. My own business owner now. There's no guaranteed paycheck like you do every single time. But I knew because I've done it for a year and a half, I've done it for 2 years, like I knew that I can actually go in and start doing it because other people did it. Was it easy? No. Was it worth it? Heck yeah. So yeah, I remember that. I think one thing was this, like another like sting in the, in the butt basically, because when I went in, I was there for 18 years. Here's sign right here. See you later. Here's your final paycheck, like stuff. And I was like, dude, I went in and I put in 20-hour days. I put in coming to my days off. I missed out so much with my kids. I got two boys now, they're 14 and 17. And it was just something that I'm like, you know what? I remember I recorded it actually, because at that time we learned how to record your journey and stuff. And I actually had Scotty actually put it all together for me. And we actually have me going in right there 15 minutes before, 10 minutes before I signed it. Woohoo! And told, my wife comes out and we actually went for a trip to reward us. And it was unbelievable, like how excited I was. But yes, definitely there was a scare factor there at the same time.
I know, right? And I think one of the main things that you mentioned that I took away from that, anyways, was that Balaj told you to double your income before you took that first step.
For three
Now,
months.
for 3 months, right? So, obviously, with that, tell me a little bit about mentorship and how that mentor played a role with you moving forward, also, because I think that is excellent advice.
See, when I first started, I didn't listen. Like I can do it better. I thought I can do it a new way. And I think a lot of us make that mistake and you have to learn from it. And that's what I ended up doing, is going in, and mentorship is one of the most important things. You have to find someone that you can relate to, and you can have someone that you can look up to that has the results that you're looking for. And that's what I had. Like, literally I was going through, and Balaj was one of them, and I had a whole bunch of other mentors that I was going through my journey, is because I was able to learn from someone that went in and did what I was doing. And it's super, super important. But in regards to quitting, I know over the 5 years how many people resigned their job or quit their job way too early. They were not ready. They didn't make enough. They thought they can just go all in and stuff, and then they just didn't make it. So it is a big decision, but I don't even call it a job or career anymore. Any of my students that get started, it's a founding source. You're founding your bills, you're founding everything else, but you're founding your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Funding your business, guys, it's a funding source, right? And when you turn around and you just change that perception of it just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It just makes you look, I find that it makes you look for other ways, right? So when you actually look at it as just not my job, but as a funding source, you go, wow, there's other funding sources available to me also,
Yeah.
right? It's just not my job that turns around and provides for me to be able to do this. I have these other things as well that allow me to do this, right? So
Well, Eli was the one actually mentioned at one time. I'm like, that is the best way to describe it. So Eli, if you're watching, shout out to you. But yeah, I met so many amazing people throughout my journey, and there's so many people that their life has changed. Like, I mean, we all go through a journey and stuff. Like, I mean, I started like, as you can tell, Ultimate Freedom Movement. And I teach people, how to succeed on their own terms and showing them what's possible. Because even when I was working corporate, I thought, like, you know how you like start out, and we'll get into that skepticism from other people, like when there's no way you're going to make money. That's a scam. How can you make money online? There's no way you can work from home. What do you mean you can make 5 figures or 6 figures a month? That's impossible. And I think biggest thing that helped me was the mindset. That's one of the first thing my mentors, when I started on training and stuff like that and going through it, everyone talks about fix your mindset, get into reading books. And I think Cameron George was talking to Matthew Jang or something about, and I had the same experience. It was like, go read a book. I'm like, I don't need to read a book. I just want to know, how do I do it? How do I make $10,000 a month? And I got into that point that I was like, I was like, I'm the same way. Like I can hustle, I can work. Just show me how to make money. And then keep going, like, go read a book, go work on your mindset, go, work on this different styles in there within you. And then when I realized, it was like literally a year into it till I actually finally said, you know what, maybe I should listen to them. They know what, the people that have results are talking about. And yeah, most definitely, mindset is one of the biggest things that I has completely changed my perspective.
Absolutely, right. And I find that, and thanks for sharing that as well, because mindset is such a big part of it, right? Like I always talk about the 3 M's, and you can talk about like 4 M's. I'm always kind of adding to them when I find keywords that kind of meant, but mindset, marketing, and mentorship are kind of the three big M's for me, right? You could add motivation in there, right? As well. But I find that when you talk about those certain things, that they all lead to where you want to go. And I find that those are really kind of the three keys to be
Yeah,
able to turn around and propel yourself from where you are today to where you're going tomorrow. So
100%.
absolutely. If you don't have the mindset correct, and guys, this is John Asseroff talks about this in some of his interviews as well, that he turned around and had a multi-million-dollar sales team in the real estate world, and they were already pumping out millions of dollars, and they were the top real estate firm, but he just couldn't get over a certain point. And it didn't matter how many good salesmen he brought in and how many good sales techniques or whatever. They had the best of the best there. They just couldn't get over that hurdle. And what ended up happening is he started bringing in mental exercises, the I am statements, right? And for 6 months, he worked with a team of 100 people, and that 100 people in that 6 months outsold the rest of them.
Yeah.
So he decided to bring it over to his company, and he 4 times it over the next 3 years. It's a credible story, but it all goes with the mind shifts and the I am statements that you actually make to yourself on a daily basis, right? So important.
Oh, I know the word I want, or I'm trying. It's just
Oh,
every time I talk to my team, like, sometimes like that, I get on the call and I'm like, why are you swearing at me? What do you mean?
yeah.
I'm like, you're trying? Like, if you want to try, and then, a lot of people do come in and they literally go in, dip their toes in the water. Ooh, it's cold, you got to go all in. The people that are having results are, especially the people that I love to work with are, self-responsible, action-taking, powerful leaders. Because those are the people that are actually not going to be whining, complaining. Like, there's people that are, there's a platform you can use for $99 a month. You have 30 days money back guarantee. Well, I don't know if I want to go in. I'm like, dude, you have 30 days, try it out, test it out, do your own research, and then go in. And there's so many people that are just like, I guess a lot of them get scammed, or, you go through fear. And I totally get it. But if you are looking for something, do your own research. And if there's so many things that you can go out there and try out risk free, literally, why not? Don't, you're not making a big investment.
Yeah, absolutely, right. It's so important that you turn around and take that and invest in yourselves, guys, right? Pick up a book, go buy a book. If you can't afford a book, go get a library membership. Like there's books in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Feed your mind constantly, and what you're going to turn around and get is great results too, because little by little, a little equals a lot. I love that statement. And I think one of our mentors taught us that as well. And the beautiful thing about that is that we don't have to do it all today. We don't have to know it all tomorrow, right?
No.
But little by little, you can turn around and you can start to gain the knowledge. And the beautiful thing is like, I heard it mentioned so well this last weekend, is even like create content for who you were 5 years ago, because you have the opportunity to not look forward to the people that are ahead of you, but you have the opportunity to look back behind you to all the people that you can turn around and help. And there's so many more people that you can turn around and help behind you than in front of you.
That is amazing. And you know what? A lot of people forget that, they get up to a certain level of income and they change completely. They become a different person. They're like literally like stay humble, like no matter where you are, stay humble because you know what? Don't forget, like I've never forgot where I came from. I grew up in Poland and me and my brother and sister shared one room. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't easy, nothing. But when I came here, I remember. And then when someone does not have even sometimes, $99, that's okay. But if you resourceful, it's not like I can't, how can I? And get to that point of different ways of being resourceful, it makes a huge difference. And that's when the mindset comes in. And sometimes it takes you a little bit because you've been programmed throughout your life. You've been programmed and you have those beliefs that you think that's the way life's supposed to be. And I've been there, I've been there, so I never forget. And I love the way you put it down, that it's like, yeah, just make content for the people that, 5 years ago. And that's when I talk to someone, it's like, yeah, I've been where you are. I never forgot where I came from. I know how it seems to go to work every single day, which first of all, I don't miss it. Like today I went to get to a barber, get a haircut and stuff like that. And I was talking to a guy, he was like,
Looking
man,
tight, looking tight.
oh yeah, and that's sharp. Yeah, my buddy actually just got married in LA. They had to do a Zoom one because there's only allowed two people on wedding and stuff. It was crazy. So we dressed up basically for a wedding. But the world has changed, and if you don't have a side business right now, you better get one. Especially it has to be online, because you thought your job was secure. A lot of people realize that right now your job is not secure whatsoever.
Absolutely. It's the ultimate time to be able to do something, right? And that's why, ultimately, there's good or bads to all of it, but that's one of the great things about affiliate marketing is you have the opportunity to turn around and pick an opportunity to turn around and bring to the masses, right? And, sometimes people say it's easy to convert like that. It's I think it's not that easy. I think there's mental preparation that goes into it. I think there's a lot of things that actually go into a successful campaign that just you can't necessarily turn it off, but you can build up to a point where you can actually turn around and serve an audience, right? Now, number one thing, would you agree that building an audience and email lists is where it's at?
When I first started, I thought we were supposed to promote the product because, our product or a webinar or whatever it is. But halfway through my journey, I realized you're supposed to brand yourself. So when you're branding yourself, you're not attached to any company. You're not attached to anything else. So when you're building your email list, it doesn't matter how small it is, everyone should do it. That's a tool in your box. Because I know some people, when they start out, we all started somewhere. Like I had 2 people on my email list at one point. Now it's over 22,000 people, it grows throughout your journey. And what happens is you have to start somewhere. So yes, most definitely you should be learning how to grow your list, how to grow your audience. And now with so many tools, we have I have people that are making sales from TikTok. It's what works for you. And you have to have fun with this. And this is where a lot of people make it, they get so overwhelmed. Don't get me wrong. Like I work my butt off when I need to,
Yeah.
but you have to have fun with this. And a lot of people's like, Rafael, why are you always so happy? At work, when I was working, it was the best feeling when I was like, Rafael, you're always so happy. Like, why? It was making him mad. Like, why is he always so happy? I'm like, dude, I have a side business. I have a way out, which I'm almost out of here. And they didn't believe me. Like, you have those people that were just like, there's no way, making fun of you. I remember my best friend, I would have my phone and you're like holding it and talking, and I'm recording a video, and they're like, haha, he's talking to his phone. I'm like, really, dude? Or just, it's unbelievable. But if someone is telling you that you can't, don't believe them, because you
Yeah.
can. If someone else did it, you can do it as well.
Absolutely. And it starts, guys. It starts with one person, right? It starts with one offer. It starts with one person. It starts with,
Yeah.
leading one person, right? All of those things are the power of one, which allow you to turn around and take the next step forward in what you want to be able to do, right? So many people, if you have, like, for example, if you have 100 people, right, and there's probably like maybe 3 or 4 people on this live right now, right? But here it is. If you have 100 people and 7 people tell you that they didn't like the information that they received, what do we
Yeah.
usually focus on?
And the negative, a
We
lot of
usually
time.
focus on the 7 people, right? Or that little small percentage of the people that didn't like your stuff or your content that day. And we turn around and we use it as a negative against ourselves.
But it's a
Meanwhile, 93 people loved your content, right? And the beautiful thing about that is not to 93 people, and it's not about the numbers, but it's always showing up for one person, to lead one person, to make content for the people that like your like you. Don't worry about the people that don't like you, right?
I have so many stories since I began. Like, like you literally can change or save someone's life by literally hopping on a live, or your word is the most powerful thing that you can have. Like any of you guys, you can probably think back right now, if you're in school, whatever, someone said something, either positive or negative, that has affected you, that you still remember till this day. It's because our beliefs and programming that we actually believe that person. And if I would have believed, and don't get me wrong, I almost quit multiple times just because of that, because it was just, I wasn't ready at that time to get to a point that my mindset like was telling me like, maybe they're right. Maybe, maybe I should just stay and do what I do for the next 30, 40 years. And I'm like, no, never again. And if you find your why, that is more powerful, and you know why you're doing it. My why was my family. Like, I want to be home with my family. I knew I'm going to do that no matter what it takes. I don't care if I made less, but I had tax write-offs. So, you know what I mean? And then you get to a point there. And a lot of times when we go in, it's like, well, I'm not good in sales. Like today, like right now, we have a wedding anniversary coming up. And I've been with my wife now for 18 years, and we're planning, to go somewhere. And I was looking, and I asked my friend, hey, what do you think? Because we can't travel. We usually go travel. We can't. So I'm like, let's go to Banff, Lake Louise or something. And I asked a friend, and she was like, yeah, you can go here. I've been here. And I'm like, that's sales. That's affiliate marketing. I mean, I wish that hotel would pay you for you referring them to me. And we do
Yeah,
that every single
absolutely.
time. If it's a movie, if it's a car that you like, that you promote it, it's just, we don't get paid for it. That's affiliate
Yeah.
marketing. It's the best thing out there.
It is. It's the core, right? Everything is affiliates. And when you actually look at the buying process and how we turn around and buy anything,
Yeah.
right? I guarantee probably one of your friends was like, dude, go check this out. It's sick. Right? Like, go check out the new iPhone. Go check out the new iPhone 11. It's nuts, man. The camera on it is like super clear. You can get like
Yeah.
iPhone, like you can get music on it, like all of that stuff. Guaranteed, someone told me it was like simplistic to use also, and that's why I went and got it. Right?
Yeah.
So when you actually look at your buying purchases, someone told you that that's a good brand, that's a good purchase. Don't go buy that brand because that brand sucks. We've all
Totally
heard
right.
those stories.
Go hear someone saying that this restaurant sucks. Would you go to it to check it out? No, you won't. Most of the times you won't, because your friend told you that, hey, I've been there. It's horrible. The food is horrible and stuff. They might have a just bad experience. Maybe they were just having a bad day, whatever it is. But because they said that, it's going to affect it. That's why reviews are really important. That's why all those things. I mean, hey,
Absolutely.
I mean, like just recently, you got those for the podcast, the little glass and stuff like that. First thing, I'm like, Sheldon, what did you buy? And what did is the first thing I asked, because we've done this for a while. Sheldon, send me your affiliate link.
Exactly, right? And it's no problem, right? Because I have one, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that, I just feel like life's an affiliate. Like, excuse
You
me.
have to you have to be able to, and the world has completely changed and transformed. Is we go into this world right now and we're worried. There's a lot of people. I mean, there's not two restaurants that closed down, the big restaurant. I mean, Europe right now, everything's going through second wave. They're closing things down. It's out of our control. So having a brick and mortar business now, it's a totally different ballgame. Before it was hard Now it's like you have to be creative and adjust. Even in our businesses, I had to adjust, I had to pivot, I have to make adjustments. And then, but when you do that, when you're constantly learning and you can do it online from the comfort of your home,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, the brick and mortar, and you talk about reputation management and stuff like that is so key now, because the purchasing power and the dynamic of someone actually going through the customer experience or the customer journey is totally changed from what it was, like you said, even a year ago,
Oh, totally 100%. I mean,
right?
I'm traveling right now. I mean, like I'm glad they just recently changed it because my son, again, sore throat, again, either go COVID, stay home in 10 days. Now they just changed it yesterday that if you get a runny nose or a cold, it's just you don't have to go get tested.
That's
So
right.
yeah, my oldest son right now, he had some kid that had COVID in the class, the whole class, 2 weeks, get tested. He's negative. Now you have to stay home for 2 weeks. He can't go to work for 2 weeks. It's just a different beast. Like I said, it's a different world. But again, that's when the side hustle comes in, guys. If you guys are watching, if you're not doing something on the side, you're missing out. And
Absolutely.
talked about that one decision, like you're literally one decision for changing your life. You could be one ad away from making $10,000 a month. You can be like that one, power of one. There's a book actually, if you guys haven't read it, it's incredible what you can accomplish when you make that one decision.
And that being the power of one. That's
The
the book
power
you're
of one.
talking about.
Yeah,
I have that book. It's actually in the stack that I'm reading right now. So,
that's awesome.
which is great. Which leads me, I could talk about the customer journey and internet awareness and the search functions and how people turn around and actually do their research now online before they even ever turn around and buy a purchase button, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but
even right now with our like with our what we do and like we with before it was like you put it out there for there's a webinar and people were like, "Ooh!" People now are more educated. People see it through all the stuff, and there's so much BS out there. Ooh, look at my car, look at my mansion that I just Airbnb or rented out, and that's what they're selling. That used to work for the people.
yeah,
Now people are more educated. They see straight through that. So now it's like you gotta I mean, like it's just incredible how everything has changed, and it's gonna change even more.
yeah, it's not hard work, guys. It's work, right? It's not necessarily hard work. It's easy work once you understand it and everything else, right? But hard work to me is like going and physically going to work, going and like beating my knuckles, going and like wrenching on my body or whatever the case may be, right? I really believe that there's two types of jobs in this world, right? One that you shower before and one you shower after, and those are the only two types of jobs. So you decide what you want to do and kind of formulate your life around that, right?
I like that way you put it, shower before and after. Yeah, and it's true. A
Right.
lot of us will go to school for nothing against education, but you go and learning from a business professor that is teaching you from books, never done run a business, and you go in and learning from it, spending 4 years, and you have a student loan now that is the worst loan that you can ever have because you can't even go bankrupt from it. And now all of a sudden you're stuck with that, and then you're making 40, $50,000 a year, if that. Here invest 4 years, like for me 5 years I invested into the learning a skill, building a foundation. Now I can leverage for the rest of my life, and I can actually do any business basically. And I can literally start, if something, the company that I'm associated with right now all of a sudden goes out of business for some reason, even though I'm with the business for 47 years, I can always go and build something else. I've done it, and I can do it over and over again, is because of the skills that you learn.
Absolutely. The skills are like the intangibles that you'll never get rid of, right?
So,
Your offer could blow up today or a month ago or whenever ago, but the skill set turns around and stays with you, right? And one of the things I always talk about too with even the journey is our journey. So many people talk about the journey being like a ladder,
yeah.
right? And you walk up 3 steps or you walk up 4 steps and then you fall, and people think you fall all the way back to the beginning all over again. It's like they've been playing shoots and ladders too many times on the board game, right? But in reality, it's not like that at all. What ends up happening is you just pick yourself back up where you fell dust yourself off and you keep going. You haven't lost all that skill. You haven't lost that knowledge. You just have to keep going.
I always said it's like a ladder without the steps. And
Yeah.
each time you go up, you build a ladder. So each time you build, you learn something, you build a ladder. Then when you get to a point and you fall off, you still have those steps that you can climb up again and keep going. I think that's the one of the best things. And it's
Well,
just,
then when you do get stuck, just to like, sure, mellow in it, well, like wallow in it a little bit if you have to. But I find that, the longer and the more mentally focused you are, the easier it is to get out of those situations and those tough times too, right? And it takes like putting that one foot in front of the next.
yeah.
Right. And sometimes it's the hardest thing to do, but it's just like life goes on, you have to go on, and it doesn't matter, right? You just have to create the next thing for you, your family, your business, whatever the case may be. So
No, there's too many people think that you're going to press some button and makes millions. There's no such thing. You got to put in the work, you got to build the foundation, learn the skill. But there's too many people that quit way too early. And I always talk about, I literally just got a sign because it just spoke to me and it was like, like it says 1 hour of workout is 4% of your day. You know what I mean? If you have an hour at 2 hours a day to spend on Netflix, you get 2 hours a day to build a side business that could literally within 2 years, you can build it out so well that don't have to go to a job. We all know what job stands for. Yes.
yeah, you bet.
So that's it's amazing. Like my journey has been amazing. This is just the beginning. My passion is help people and show them what is possible, how you can succeed on your own terms. Because everyone talks about this financial freedom or ultimate freedom. Like even like like I said, I call my ultimate freedom because everyone has different freedom. For you, it could be literally spending time with your family, or for another person, it could be traveling the world. The other person could make millions. That's their freedom. It's different for every single person.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, this has been a great conversation. I hope you guys are taking a lot out of it. This is the thing, like this is where it all starts, right? So many people talk about like documenting the journey and stuff like that. Guys, like lately, especially over the last month or whatever, it's really rung home that like now's your opportunity to really document the journey, right? Like people think they get to a certain plateau or a certain place and it's like over, but it's really like it's only just begun.
It's never over. It's I think
Right?
Dakota taught me to become a garbage collector, and I wish I would have
Yeah.
heard that way before when I started. Even when I was working, like literally, I was creating content and webinar. I couldn't find a picture from me being at work. After 18
Yeah.
years, I was like, well, you don't think about taking pictures at work. What for? But it's like it
Well,
was
and
so good.
things have changed though too in
Yeah.
reality with that also. I have the same problem.
Mm.
Right? I have no pictures of me being a mechanic. I have no pictures of me being in the front end. I have no pictures of that history whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then I look at that and I think, well, that was 6, 8 years ago. Well, the cell phone
That was
really is like only 10 years, 12 years, probably max.
we have this technology, like literally
Right?
you have a computer right in your head.
But we didn't have that when we were at our JOBs.
Yep.
Right. So that all those pictures and stuff like that we have and we think take so casually now, and we're like selfie mode and all like that was
What's a selfie?
years ago.
What's a selfie? Like,
Right.
ask your kids what's a like a VCR or what's a Walkman. Like
That's it.
there's so many things, and life changes and all that stuff, and we just have to leverage what we have. If you have a phone and if you're on Facebook and you don't leverage Facebook for more than watching cat videos, you're missing out because there's so much
Absolutely.
more that you can do with it. And yeah, just again, like it's just been amazing way to impact the world, and that's why.
Well, and the great thing about Facebook, and we're doing it right here, is you can do two things with Facebook. You can consume Facebook or you can create content for it.
Yep.
Right. So you can watch other people or you can have other people watch you. One or the other.
Build the
'Cause-
audience, and the audience will and then following. This is another one. Like I'll bring this up too. Just the last thing is, I know people that have millions of followers, but the engagement is just almost nothing. I rather have 500 people that follow you, that engage with you, that actually are your true fans, than a million followers.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not about the number anymore. It used to be. The algorithm changes all the time. There's so many different things that you have to be aware of. But if you continue educating yourself, if
Yeah.
you keep exercising this, and then take care of yourself, take care of your body, and have the lifestyle and the freedom will come along with it.
Absolutely. I was just talking about that actually on an interview that I dropped a couple of weeks ago with Ella May. For
Right.
those that want to go check it out, go check it out. It's on YouTube and stuff like that under the name. But we talked about that exact same thing,
Yeah.
right? Just building a quality audience, right? And it's not about having millions and millions of people, right? She told a story of someone that was making bank off of like 2,200 followers, like just crazy, right?
Well, because
So,
if someone trusts you and you are sincere and you actually give a shit about people,
yeah,
people can read straight through. If you're just there about the sale, I mean, like how many times you went through a car car dealership, and the only thing they want is to buy your car. But if someone comes in sincere and they actually care about you and they ask, how's it going? Like, what can I help you with? And follow up with them in a way that, hey, you know what? Like, I understand where you're coming from. More people are gonna respect you and follow you because of
yeah,
that. And be
yeah.
yourself. Don't be someone else. I've done that at
No,
the beginning. I try to be that other person. It doesn't work.
doesn't work at all, right? And I love that you talked about, negotiation and sales there as well, right? Walking into a car dealership, right? And one of
Right.
the books I'm reading right now is Chris Voss's Splitting the Difference. And it is absolutely phenomenal. For those that haven't had the opportunity to read it or know about it, go check it out. He's at the top FBI agent as far as negotiation is concerned. So there's some cool tricks and hacks for you to be able to negotiate. And he talks about going to a car dealership to be able to do that, right?
Oh man, I need that book as well because actually one of the goal lives today, I'm going to be doing a goal life because I'm doing a 14-day goal life challenge. I'm doing a 90-day mastermind. Like I have so many things on the go, but today I have to literally talk about what, and then I'll ask you this question because since we're
Yeah,
we're
for sure.
if you had the ability to go back, let's say you had a time machine and you can go back and talk to the child version of you, what advice would you give him?
What advice would I give him? I would tell that kid to like build his confidence, build his self-confidence, and start at a young age,
There you go. See? Yeah.
right?
So yeah, there's so many different things. And for all of you guys that are doing out there, share your story.
Yeah.
Your story is more powerful. We all have a story. You think your story don't matter? Few months back, I had literally a kid. Basically, he messaged me. He goes, Rafael, like I love what you are. I just can't afford it, but I love following you. And I literally had time, hopped on a call with him just like this on Zoom for 5 minutes. Give him a book, Happy Pocket Full of Money. I'm like, here's the Audible. I know you can't afford it, read it, stuff like that. 2-3 weeks later, I get a message and I realized, I think his name was Patrick. And he was like, messaging me, hey, Rafael, I just want to say thank you. I owe you everything. I'm like, awesome. No, like, cool. And then he goes, no, Rafael, you don't understand. Like, I owe you everything. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, like I didn't really catch on who it was. He goes, remember the time that we hopped on a call and you give me the book and you inspire me?
Yeah.
That was the time that I lost my mom. I was in so low. I was about to commit suicide. And because of you, I didn't.
Yeah.
That right there drove me to be more passionate about and getting on here and just saying, you know what, you can make a change.
It's just why it's so important, stories like that, to be able to get on and share your story, right, with other people. And back to like just hopping on for one person, because you never know who that person is on the other side, right? What they're experiencing, what they're going through. And like I said, everyone has a message. We just, we feel like we can't affect change, and yet we can, right? We feel like sometimes we're so helpless, and yet there's so many opportunities to be able to turn around and lend a helping hand, to make a loving suggestion, right, as to a good book to go read or whatever the case may be, right? Someone recommended The Magic, and at my lowest point in my life, I read that book and it absolutely turned around
Gratitude is the
and
biggest one.
and changed my perspective of everything.
Yep.
Right. So it's those types of things. It's those little notes, it's those little people. It's showing up for one person. It's always coming up, and it's always, like I said, by sharing your story. Here's the next thing: by sharing your story, you give the other person an opportunity, and you kind of pave the way to let them share.
Yep.
Right.
It's,
And
it's
you
a
talk
ripple.
about that. Absolutely. You talk about, someone like that. One of the stories that I have like that, the guy told me that, he said, Sheldon, I love your content, I love listening to you, and stuff like that. He goes, one of the toughest parts of my life, and we really got deep, he goes, I heard my wife being shot on the other side of the phone.
Oh shit.
And I what? And he turned around and told me his story, and to hear what he kind of went through, and like just the aha moment that, holy shit, we
That's
do have a big difference. We do make a big difference as long as you consistently show up. And that's like, you
100%.
know, we're 45 minutes in, guys, and stuff like that, right? But like, consistency, right? It's one of those things that has just been drilled in over and over and over again, even in the last week, is like, consistency is key, right? How you show up is everything. When you show up is everything, right? Just do it. Get your face out there. Share your message.
100%. You know what? This is something that you hear over and over from so many people. And there'll be a lot of people, like even for myself, like I have one girl followed me for 3 years. She's like, Rafael, I've been following you for 3 years. I watched you almost every day. And I'm like, who are you? Like, I didn't even know. But they were watching. A lot of people don't click like, they're just there in the shadows, but it motivates them.
Yeah.
When I posted, they made a post that I'm removing a lot of people from my Facebook because I have to clean it up. I've been getting messages, Rafael, please don't remove me. I love your content, all that stuff. And that sort of drives me to go more because that motivates someone else on the other end. And doing content is awesome because you can post and just be you. And don't give a shit about what other people think. Like that's one of the biggest things. And right before, because I know we have to finish soon because I have to run as well. But Sheldon, thank you for having me here. But I want to put out a challenge for all of you guys. Okay. And this is a simple challenge, and this is going to help you in any other way. Is every single day, just message 10 people and just tell them how awesome they are. Tell them that, hey, you know what? I was thinking of you. You're freaking amazing. Have an amazing day. I'm sending you positive vibes. When you do that every single day, you're going to tend to receive 10 times fold back. You'll see. Okay. Every day, message 10 people. I do that myself every single day. Sometimes I do 20. Sometimes I go to Facebook jail because of it.
There you go, right? It's what it takes. It's what it takes, right, guys? Man, this has been a lot of fun, and we've talked about doing this, and I think that with the result of it and stuff like that, I think we're going to continue doing it. If you're available Fridays at 4 o'clock, love to like continue doing
Yeah,
this,
maybe
and
we'll,
like,
we'll create something. If you guys enjoy this again, maybe pop it in his chat. I'm gonna start my Facebook group too. Maybe we'll use it in
absolutely,
StreamYard so we can have like more engagement. We can plug in videos, fireworks. We can make this fun. And I know me
we
and
can
Sheldon,
make
we
it
go
fun.
back and it's easy flow. I love the where we're just chatting and easy flow. And I think we can
Yeah.
bring more value. We'll bring up some awesome topics. I mean, there's so much here over the 5 years that went in. It has to come
Yeah.
out.
Well, and the big thing here, guys, is like, you know, what the intention behind Rafael and I getting on here to come share with you guys is not only to share some of our stories, some of our beliefs, some of our philosophies when it comes to like marketing and business and stuff like that, but it's really to turn around and also answer questions for you guys. Right? We want to be here for you. We just don't want to be like the Raf and Sheldon show and just talk back and forth. I'm sure we have good conversations and you love it, which is good, but this is meant for you guys. This is meant for hopping on, asking a question. Where are you at? What are you doing? How we can turn around and support you to get you to that next level,
Oh yeah,
right?
100%.
So
It'll
so
be
what
good.
we're going to do is maybe we'll invite a couple of people on the next show, right? That we know that have reached out to us and stuff like that. And guys, this is how you turn around and like I said, this is the beginning. And
We can
this
have
is
so much
us
to do with this. Yeah.
this is
Even
us
though
documenting the journey.
Well, the thing is, even
Right.
right now, like if anyone is watching, if you guys have questions, everything that maybe there's some things you're struggling with, maybe there's little tips and tricks. Maybe you can teach. Well, you can teach us a lot of different things too. I'll put it in the chat and then just mention that, any Q&As that that you might have towards us, and then definitely, yeah, we'll coordinate something, Sheldon, for sure. I'm just restarting a lot of the things. I have so many new tools that are coming up. So, but yeah, the last thing is, I think we got to go on a little story here. So we're gonna just pop it out here, and because right now, as we're speaking, we are live right here. I'm here with Sheldon. We just finished our call. So if you guys haven't had a chance, we're gonna be able to check it out. We're gonna post the comment up there, and we're gonna send you the link. So check it out. Here we go, Sheldon and
It's
Rafael.
fire. Woo, woo, woo.
Cheers, guys.
Awesome, guys. Hope you guys had a great day. Enjoy Halloween wherever you guys are. Be spooktacular. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.